The 43rd floor at midnight felt like another planet. Liam's eyes burned from staring at spreadsheets, the blue light of his monitor casting shadows across his stubbled face. The photo of Sophie, gap-toothed grin, pigtails askew, watched him from the corner of his desk, a reminder of why he endured this. His temples throbbed. These projections are garbage. Miranda Voss didn't raise her voice. She never had to. Her words sliced through the silence as she dropped the report onto his keyboard. Her tailored charcoal suit remained unwrinkled despite the 14-hour day. Not a strand of her dark hair had escaped its severe bun. I asked for actionable insights, not whatever this is. Her fingernail tapped against the paper. The sound echoed like a metronome counting down his remaining patience. Liam's jaw tightened. I've redone these 3 times based on your shifting parameters. And you'll do them again. Miranda's gaze flicked to Sophie's photo, a momentary hesitation before her expression hardened. Unless you'd prefer someone else handle your clients? Someone without distractions. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows, Chicago's skyline glittered, indifferent to the small war being waged inside Pearson and Holt Financial. It's nearly midnight, Liam said, his voice carefully measured. And? Miranda leaned against his desk, her perfume, something expensive and understated, briefly cutting through the stale office air. The Singapore call is at 6. These numbers need to be bulletproof by then. Liam's phone vibrated. Mrs. Patel, his neighbor who watched Sophie when he worked late. The 3rd text tonight. His daughter's fever hadn't broken. I need to go home. He stood, gathering his things. Sophie's sick. Miranda's lips thinned to a bloodless line. We all have responsibilities, Liam. Yes. Mine is currently running a 102-degree fever. The Nakamura account. We'll still be here tomorrow. Liam slipped his laptop into his bag. Unlike my daughter's childhood. Something flickered across Miranda's face, a crack in the marble. For 3 years, he'd worked under her impossible standards, watching colleagues break and leave while he stayed, needing the salary, the health insurance. 3 years of missed recitals and parent-teacher conferences. 3 years of Sophie asking why he looked so tired. If you walk out that door, Miranda said, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper, don't bother coming back. The headache that had been building behind Liam's eyes exploded into white-hot clarity. The accumulated weight of 1,000 small indignities, the cancelled vacations, the 3 a.m. emails, the casual dismissal of his life outside these walls, crystallized into something hard and sharp. You know what, Miranda? He turned to face her fully. I've rewritten reports until my eyes bled. I've missed my daughter's birthday dinner. I've taken your criticism, your impossible deadlines, your contempt. Miranda's posture stiffened, but Liam continued, his voice low and steady. You treat people like they're disposable because you've forgotten they're human. Or maybe you never knew. He shouldered his bag. I quit. The silence that followed felt physical. Miranda stood perfectly still, her knuckles white against the edge of his desk. You can't. Watch me. He moved toward the door. Liam. His name in her mouth sounded different, ragged, almost pleading. He paused, hand on the doorframe. What could you possibly say that? The rest of his sentence disappeared as Miranda crossed the space between them in 3 quick steps. Her hands gripped his lapels, and before he could process what was happening, her mouth was on his, desperate, angry, terrified. The kiss wasn't gentle. It wasn't romantic. It was a collision, a confession, a surrender. Her lips trembled against his, and he tasted salt. Tears. Hers. When she pulled back, her carefully constructed facade had crumbled. Mascara smudged beneath eyes that suddenly looked lost. "Don't leave me," she whispered, the words barely audible. Her fingers still clutched his jacket like she might drown if she let go. Liam stood frozen, the world tilting beneath him. 3 years of tension, resentment, and something else, something he'd refused to name, crashed together in his mind. Miranda, what? I know I'm hell to work for. Her voice cracked. I know what they call me. The Ice Queen. The Terminator. She released his jacket, smoothing the wrinkles with shaking hands. Do you think I wanted to be this person? The office felt suddenly too small, too intimate. Through the glass walls, the empty cubicle stretched like a silent audience. They've been trying to force me out for years, she continued, stepping back, visibly rebuilding her walls brick by brick. The board, the partners. Waiting for one mistake. One sign of weakness. She gestured vaguely toward the executive floor. Do you know what Pearson called me last week? Emotional. Because I argued against cutting the research department. Liam remembered the first time he'd seen Miranda smile, genuinely smile. 9 months into working for her, after landing the Westridge account. For a brief moment, the armor had slipped, revealing something warm and human beneath. He'd spent the next 2 years catching glimpses of that person, like rare sightings of an endangered species. You're the only one who never broke, she said, turning away to hide her face. The only one who pushed back. Who saw through the... She trailed off. The bullshit? Liam offered. A small, surprised laugh escaped her. Yes. The bullshit. His phone vibrated again. Sophie. Miranda noticed. Go. Your daughter needs you. She straightened her shoulders. We'll discuss this tomorrow. Miranda. Please. The word sounded foreign in her mouth. Just go. 3 years earlier, Liam had interviewed with 5 people at Pearson and Holt. Miranda had been last, her questions surgical, her eyes evaluating every micro-expression. Single parent, she'd asked, glancing at his resume. Yes. My wife died when Sophie was 2. He'd expected sympathy, the usual platitudes. Instead, Miranda had nodded once. My father raised me alone after my mother left. He never missed a dance recital despite working 2 jobs. She'd studied him. I need someone who understands sacrifice, Mr. Reeves. Someone who won't quit when it gets difficult. Later, he'd learn her father had died the previous year. That she'd taken exactly 1 day off for the funeral. Sophie's fever broke around 3 in the morning. Liam sat beside her bed, watching her breathe, his mind replaying the night's events on an endless loop. The kiss. The plea. The glimpse behind the curtain. His phone lit up with a text. Is she all right? No name, but he knew. Miranda had never texted him before. Asterisk fevers down. She's sleeping, asterisk. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, reappeared. Asterisk good. Take tomorrow. I'll handle Singapore, asterisk. Liam stared at the screen, trying to reconcile this message with the woman who'd once made an analyst cry for taking a lunch break. Thank you. The dots appeared again, lingering longer this time. I'm sorry. 2 words he'd never expected from Miranda Voss. Sometimes the people we clash with the most are the ones who are most like us. Have you ever had a boss or colleague who turned out to be completely different than you thought? Share your story in the comments. The office felt different the next day. Liam had come in despite Miranda's text, arriving after dropping Sophie at school. Her fever was gone, her energy restored with the resilience only children possess. The 43rd floor buzzed with the usual morning activity, but conversations hushed as he passed. News traveled fast. He wondered what version they'd heard. Miranda's office door was closed, blinds drawn. Her assistant, Tara, gave him a curious look. She's been in since 5, Tara said, voice low. The Singapore call went well. Liam nodded, continuing to his desk. On it sat a folder he didn't recognize. Inside, he found revised projections for the Nakamura account, in Miranda's handwriting. Meticulous, comprehensive, with a note, asterisk your approach was better. I was wrong, asterisk. He looked toward her office, heart hammering against his ribs. The memory of her lips against his. The taste of salt. Don't leave me. His desk phone rang. Miranda's extension. My office, she said when he answered, her voice professional but softer than before. Please. The walk to her door felt longer than usual. Colleagues watched from peripheral vision, pretending not to notice. He knocked once, then entered. Miranda stood by the window, silhouetted against the morning light. She'd changed clothes since last night, a deep blue suit that made her look less severe. Her hair fell loose around her shoulders, transforming her face. Close the door, she said without turning. Liam did, then waited. The silence stretched between them, filled with unspoken questions. I crossed a line last night, she finally said, turning to face him. It was unprofessional and inappropriate. Miranda. She held up a hand. Please let me finish. She took a deep breath. I've spent my entire career building walls. Making myself untouchable. Unfeeling. Her fingers traced the edge of her desk. It was the only way to survive in this world. Liam noticed a new photo on her desk, an older man with Miranda's eyes, his arm around a teenage girl with a serious expression. Her father. I became what they expected, she continued. Cold. Ruthless. Effective. Her gaze met his. And completely alone. The morning sun caught in her hair, illuminating strands of copper he'd never noticed before. You don't have to be, Liam said quietly. Something vulnerable flickered across her face. Don't I? You've seen what happens to women who show weakness in this place. Is that what you think last night was? Weakness? Miranda's laugh held no humor. I sexually harassed my employee and had an emotional breakdown. In what world is that not weakness? Liam moved closer, close enough to see the faint freckles across her nose, usually hidden beneath makeup. In a world where we're human, he said. Where we're allowed to be human. Her eyes searched his face. Are you still resigning? Do you still want me to stay? The question hung between them, layered with meaning. Yes, she whispered. But not because of last night. Because you're the best analyst I have. Because you challenge me. She hesitated. Because you see me. Liam thought of Sophie asking about his day each night, of the missed recitals and school plays. Of the woman before him, who'd built a fortress around herself only to find herself imprisoned within it. I'll stay, he said. On one condition. Miranda raised an eyebrow, a ghost of her usual authority returning. Name it. Have dinner with us tonight. With Sophie and me. He smiled slightly. She's been curious about the dragon lady I work for. For a moment, panic flashed across Miranda's face, then something else. Something that looked almost like hope. I don't know much about children, she admitted. That's okay, Liam said. Sophie knows enough about being a child for both of you. The smile that slowly spread across Miranda's face was real, unguarded and a little terrified. It transformed her entirely. I'd like that, she said softly. Outside her office, the workday continued. Phones rang, keyboards clicked, deadlines loomed. But inside, something had shifted, a small, fragile beginning. Not a fairy tale ending, but a human one. Complicated. Uncertain. Real. If this story touched your heart and reminded you how powerful a parent's love can be, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing emotional and inspiring stories like this one. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload, and feel free to share this video with someone who believes in love, sacrifice, and second chances.